Okay, so yeah, so I will skip this one. So this session, I will talk about the cloud module itself. So agenda is the multi-cloud orchestration concept and value proposition and goal. Our goal, a self-service portal, and we call cloud orchestrator and demo. So basically, we think that in the enterprise and cloud, we have some stakeholder like IT executive, IT operators, and IT users. So in Docomo, I'm working on, the company is using the AWS, almost maybe more than 90%, and Azure, GCP a little bit. And we have on-premise OpenStack cluster. It's very huge. I think maybe more than 1,000 servers in a data center, I think. So we want to manage the multi-cloud, the orchestration. And of course, as I previously I mentioned about the cost of the AWS, we want to manage the cost. So the benefit of the cloud computing is pay-as-you-go model, but currently cost is very huge. Well, the benefit is kind of a disadvantage right now. So well, we want to manage the cost. And Docomo is highly concerned about the privacy and security. So we want to have some governance in the cloud. So we want to automate this kind of the process and the workflow as a system. So we have on the top Scam Monster. So while Docomo is selling this product for the security assessment tool, and we are selling also cost visualizer to visualize the AWS cost by showing some graph. And Cloud Orchestrator, this is my project. So we are developing the Cloud Orchestrator. And then this value proposition of the Cloud Orchestrator, so Docomo is seeking the agility of time to market by using the cloud. And we concern about the cloud TCO and the governance, as I mentioned. So, well, in my small branch office of Docomo in Palo Alto is working on cost analytics and optimization. So we are proposing the cost management to Docomo headquarters. Actually, we are working on together in between the branch office and the headquarters. And multi-cloud orchestration in the branch office. And previously, in the previous session, I talked about the agile software development. So the goal, one of the goals is to provide a self-service portal to our engineer. So here, well, some use case scenario happened before in our branch office. So we have lots of researchers, several researchers for the machine learning and deep learning to analyze the image. So let's say user A, researcher A asked me to give him some massive GPU instance. And then another user will ask me to, give him some other hardware or AWS instance, and so on. So, well, because they are not familiar with the AWS, so it's different from the Docomo headquarters use case scenario, because the headquarters engineer knows about the AWS so much, but here, usual researcher is focusing on to come up with the algorithm or some more like some logic or some more upper layer, but they are not familiar with the infrastructure layer. So here is some idea. Instead of giving them the individual GPU resource or massive resource, instead of doing that, if we have some self-service portal, then, I can sleep very well without any, taking care of the this kind of the researcher's request. So that's one of the motivation. So the cloud orchestrator, this is a screenshot, and for managing the EC2, we have some single sign-on capability. We are using the Outlook, Office 365. So by using the email account with your password, they can log into the portal system internally, and they can easily to launch and manage their own instance, especially GPU instance. And then, yeah, of course, this is based on the Drupal. That's why, it's very, powerful to get some single sign-on feature. When we realize, when we achieve the single sign-on, we don't have to write the code. So actually, we didn't develop the single sign-on capability by ourselves. We just install the LDAP module into our site, and then that's it, the configuration, and then that's it. So we are practicing agile software development, and then this kind of the activity, we can demonstrate through our project. We can demonstrate our activity to Docomo Japan. So, Docomo Japan is a large enterprise, so everybody not familiar with the agile software development method. So, through this kind of the activity, we can, as a research institute, we can, show our practice to Docomo headquarters. Yeah, so just like a demo next. All right. So, okay, switch to slideshow. All right, let me log into the test site first. So this is a very simple login. Let me log in as the admin user. Login, oh yeah, here. Then here is the two simple menu, like cloud service providers and the design. Well, actually, we only support the AWS. The reason why we put the cloud service provider is we will accommodate another cloud service like GCP or Azure. So here, all the regions in AWS. So the first, we added some cost-aware feature to integrate to the Google spreadsheet. If I click the, for example, US East, North Virginia, then we can jump to the Google spreadsheet. And then the user can import the Google spreadsheet in the individual account. And then the user can, user can analyze, actually sorting out the by cost or instance type, and you can filter this table. So we put some RI, reserved instance, for 1 year cost or 3 year cost, not only the on-demand cost, hourly, daily, and monthly. So we integrated the Google spreadsheet from the cloud orchestrator, for example, because I want the researcher know about the cost actually. And then if I click the Oregon region, for example, then we can see the running instance as you can see in the AWS management console. It's exactly the same the view of the AWS management console, original one. But we can we can control the instance stop, reboot, create image here, and then delete means terminate. Yeah, so, well, we can manage the instances and images, the security group, Elastic IP, network interfaces, key pair, volume, snapshot, and then even instance type pricing, not only the Google spreadsheet, but also internally that we can see the, the cost of the pricing of AWS. So, well, this is pretty much close to, almost similar, exactly the same as original AWS management console. So, well, we can start to design to create the server template by each region. So if I click the US West Oregon, then I have the two kinds of the server template. So for example, if I click the Ubuntu 18.04, this is a very generic one, and you can customize and you can have your own server template by changing the instance type like this, and even copy and clone the existing server template from the cloud orchestrator to your account. So once we have the server template, we can launch the instance. Just to click this one. And then before we launch the instance, the cloud orchestrator proposed, show some cost in same instance family to consider the researcher, make the researcher consider about some cost. Like, if that instance type is really fit to your requirement or not. So, well, this is some chance to, reconsider the change the instance type here. And then even we put some automatically terminate instance option by specifying the termination date like this. So if I click this one, we can select the, for example, today, and then now, well, for example, 4:30 p.m. And then we can configure this kind of the option. And then by selecting this option, the system cloud orchestrator automatically terminate this instance. For testing purpose, well, this will work actually. And then in our use case, there are pretty much test case testing test instance for the research purpose. So that's why we have we added this kind of the option. And then by clicking launch, and then, well, the cloud orchestrator call the API to the EC2, and you can see the this instance on the list, like with the pending state. So, well, this will automatically refresh the status by using the AJAX call, but we can manually refresh this instance list. So, well, you can see, well, this instance, which I launched now, and with the public IP address. So, well, and then based on the configuration of the server template, we can access to this instance through the SSH, or that we can manipulate the instance. So, well, this is just like the cloud orchestrator, and more of the feature. We have some cost notification. The instance notification feature, which notify the long run running instance, or for example, I mean, if I receive some notification email, just like today, so as you can see, here is the some list for the long run based on the configuration in a setting in our cloud orchestrator. Now, for example, if I go to the configuration and AWS cloud setting, and then here is the setting tab, and we can see the instance once a day. We can receive the notification for 30 days long run instance, or 1 year, and 2 months or 3 months or something. And also we can receive some EBS volume, unnecessary EBS volume, maybe. Well, that means like here volume information. So if the volume is not used for 30 days, this is configurable, or half a year or 1 year. And we can select some frequency of the notification with the time. Then we receive the some unnecessary, likely, well, potential unnecessary volume. And then IT admin or the user notice the unnecessary instance or volume to delete in the future. So, well, the reason why we highly involved in the Drupal is, I guess that I thought that Drupal had the some lots of the security related capability, like a permission, for example. This is a very powerful. If we have the role, as you know, in the Drupal, and we have a lot of the permissions for the AWS, which is corresponding to the API level. So by controlling the some role, then we can assign the role to the specific users and the group and the team. So this is a powerful, most powerful capability in the Drupal, I guess. Also, as I talked, single sign-on. Now through this cloud orchestrator, the user doesn't have to create his or her own account, just to simply use the Outlook, in our case, Outlook username and email address and the password to log into this system. So this is totally integrated with the our intranet, actually. So this is actually staging site for the testing purpose. So it's not really connecting to our organization. But basically, the screen is almost the same. We are using the Bootstrap theme like this. So, well, this is the cloud orchestrator capability, and we already have done about the basic EC2 functionality, similar or exactly the same EC2 the function to mirror to the original AWS Management Console site. So we don't have to create the individual user on the AWS Management Console. So instead of that, we just give this URL to our researchers, our employee, and then they can access to the EC2. So that's my presentation, I guess. Yes, I talked about here is a screenshot and a coaster feature. I introduced the some instance list and then notification. So that's it. Any question?
Yeah, I'm actually just trying to absorb everything that you mentioned.
Yes.
So within the Amazon account, are you just using like single account and then?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, well, I confirmed that's the single account with the administrator permission is comply with our document headquarters security policy or not. Actually, well, they say that's fine because it's equivalent to manage their instance through the human IT admin. Yes. So instead of the human IT admin of AWS like me, just you replace the human to the portal. So that's exactly the same thing. Yes. So yeah. Well, document headquarter, well, I confirmed some engineer and the manager. Well, and then he said, yeah, that's no problem.
Now, are you able to assign any of the permissions from? Are you guys using Microsoft on the Japanese side? Are you guys using the package? So you're able to kind of set certain security templates within Drupal based on their permissions in Active Directory?
Not so well. We are not reaching to that level.
Yeah, that's pretty in-depth in there.
Yes, that maybe, well, we can do that. If well, I think we can sync up some group and a role in between the Drupal. And then, but now we are working on the, as I mentioned in a previous session, we are working on the I am role. Yes, so it's more powerful. We will create the Drupal role and AWS I am role. So there is some kind of resources like Active Directory group or team Active Directory group and a Drupal role and AWS I am role. So we need to think about that. Yeah. So that's things are now, well, currently manually we are configuring.
What's the next big thing that you can imagine, like a transformational kind of feature set that you see within the coming years within Cloud?
Well, we want to expand to the OpenStack management for the on-premise. And of course, we want to manage the Kubernetes clusters for the container. And then we want to, well, we want to automate some the rebalance of the workload by using the container.
Okay.
Well, here is something happening in the machine learning and the deep learning area because GPU is very costly, very expensive. So we have some problem how we can utilize to the multiple user to accommodate their machine learning modeling computing power into the GPU servers. Well, they don't care about the cloud or on-premise hardware. They just want to have computing power. Yeah. So we will, our direction is how we can solve that kind of problem.
I see. With people being able to spin up their own instances, how about dealing with security and patching? How does that actually work?
Oh yes. So if we talk about the security, there is a lot of level or some layer of the security. The first thing is, yes, we are thinking that for the network security. So basically, the Docomo headquarters recommend or strictly ask us to create our own VPC, virtual private network, in individual user, not to share the VPC for the some testing purpose kind of thing. So for the development VPC or QA or something, in project, in each project or something. Yeah, isolate. Yeah. So when we try to launch their instance, well, they ask us to create its own VPC, and then we need to put some Bayesian, the jump server, on the top of their VPC. So I asked the headquarters, so how you can manage the VPC? That's kind of the security policy, like a VPC, individual VPC, or Bayesian, jump server. How you are managing? They say, actually manually they are creating the VPC. Well, they have a lot of security concern and policy, but they are not fully automate that kind of the how to say resource creation. So through Cloud Orchestrator, I guess we can provide the here, for example, if I click this one, oh sorry, well, if I click the design and the template. So the basic idea is when we create some template, like edit, so we can specify the Yes, we can create the server template here, for example. And then if I edit this one, well, this server template is, so Cloud Orchestrator knows the login user who is accessing this one. So, well, corresponding to the user or group or role, then we can, automatically create the VPC at first. That's the, on the list for the backlog, our backlog. Yes, currently this is, the VPC is predefined from the IT admin, but, why not? Well, we can, the cloud orchestrator automatically create the individual, team role based on the role. We can create the VPC on the vision. Yeah, that deployment is one of the security concern. And for the patching or application layer security is a different story, like a DevOps stuff, I think. But well, we can manage that kind of things, controlling some user data. So this is user data, the field. The cloud init, when we launch the instance, we can inject the script. Yeah. This is just like a one time, but continuously, I understand we are continuously check the security, the patching something. That's, the different thing. Yeah, I think maybe different system. Yeah. Yeah. And then also user and the user permission kind of thing. That's maybe, Drupal can handle the integration of the Active Directory and the role and AWS IAM or some other clouds.
Great.
Any other? No? Okay. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.